Now let's go to the president. He's in Illinois at this hour talking to some farmers.
Have you ever been on a farm? And I remind them that what nobody knows. I come from the state of Delaware. I represented Delaware for 36 years in the United States Senate before I became vice president. Single largest industry in Delaware and the Delmarva of Delaware, Maryland, Virginia Peninsula, that peninsula that goes down, is agriculture. It's a $4 billion industry. $4 billion, that whole peninsula. And we have more chickens than there are Americans, more broilers. And so, you know, I've been very, let me put it this way. If I didn't know something about farms, I'd have been a United States Senator for 6 years, not 36 years. But every part of the country is different. Every part of the country is different. But before I go on, I want to pay a little bit of a tribute to this guy right here. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. This is the man who happens to be the son of the owners of this farm. And this guy is doing, you know, there's an old expression, God made man, then he made a few firefighters. Not a joke. Firefighters are incredible. Who's else crazy enough to run into flames, you know? But all kidding aside, what you're doing in terms of helping conservation as well out in Wyoming is astounding. It really is. I've been to, I don't want to make you stand, I'm sorry. The whole point of my raising this is, and we're not going to be able to talk much about it today, but conservation is also pretty darn important, and climate is pretty important. I've been to every major fire but 2 this year because FEMA is working again. We show up. We don't wait. We don't have to wonder. Governors only have to call me once. And here's the deal. More timber, more land, more buildings, more territory has been burned to the ground this year than an entire state of New Jersey, from New York all the way down to Virginia. The entire state of New Jersey. And so what this young man does and is amazing, what they do, and it relates to lack of water in most of the places. I've flown over those reservoirs that were 200 feet deep that are now 2 inches deep, literally, not figuratively. So one of these days I want to come back and talk to you all about conservation as well and the climate. But thank you for what you're doing, man. I really mean it. Thank you. Folks, I know it's hot in here, so I'm not going to talk more than an hour and a half. Look, I want to make a few, I think, are fairly important points. First of all, I want to thank Jeff for that introduction and you, Gina, for your hospitality you've extended today. I joined Congressman Robin Kelly here, the real champion for working families and farmers, who represents this area, and I just do what she says. She sends a note to the White House, and I get it done. No, but she's a key player in infrastructure, getting high-speed internet, clean water to every person across this district. And I know we wanted to be here also was Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, but they were going to come, but there's a vote today in the United States Senate, and they're unable to be here. They're two of the most genuine, reliable people I've ever worked with, and I've been doing this for a few days. And I want to thank Tom Vilsack. Tom and I became friends when Tom was governor in Iowa. We traveled the state. Tom has forgotten more about farming than most people will ever learn. I'm sure this room knows as much.
Right. President Biden out there in Illinois, maybe it's just my observation, seemed like a little awkwardness in introducing that young man. He's clearly trying to talk to farmers as if he understands where they come from.
Sure.
The irony is for him and the Democratic Party is there was a time that farmers, and he's speaking to a union later on this afternoon of electrical workers, that union members and farmers were natural Democratic voters. And over the years, they have pretty much lost them. When you see people in the middle of this country see what's going on the coasts, and the Democratic Party, which seems so elitist, and their policies seem totally out of touch with that. So I understand the effort, but this is an effort, and we anticipate also he's going to try to blame Putin for inflation and suggest solutions such as taxing corporations more.
And of course, I mean, we are, he's there to discuss, of course, rising food costs and those things with farmers. But we just heard him kind of go from chickens to firefighters to some jokes and conversations. So we'll get back to him when he gets to the meat of his discussion. So